It is Sunday, July 12th. This is the Uncle Buzz Show. I am your host, Uncle Buzz. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. Just a reminder, if you haven't yet, please download the Apex Radio app and follow us on all social platforms. I have another esteemed guest with me today. A friend of mine for many years, artist in the city. I'll let him explain a little bit more into that. My friend, Osama. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother? Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, my friend. So we picked an album that me and you played a lot in our time. Definitely a classic album. I think it's not always regarded one of the greatest in his discography, but a solid offering nonetheless. We're talking about Nas I Am. It was released April 6, 1999.
Yes, sir.
Recorded between the years of 1998 1999. Roughly 65 minutes in total, 17 tracks. Why did you pick Nas I Am?
At that time, I think I was like in grade 8, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't know, at that time I was just heavy on the Nas, Jay-Z. So I remember toward the end of like March, I like bought all of Nas's albums, like the ones that came out so far. So it was Illmatic, It Was Written, I think were the only two out at that time. So I bought them. It was before my birthday, so I got, I bought those, and for my birthday, I got some birthday money. Like, I was anticipating this album, you know what I'm saying? So my birthday's on the 1st of April. This shit came out on the 6th of April. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. It came out, I went to HMV, and then that whole summer, that whole year, the rest of the year, from front to back, I was listening to Nas, So
absolutely,
it was anticipated for me because it was his first album since like maybe 96, since it was written. So I was just like, just prepping myself to get the album, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I remember like it was anticipated because after everything that happened with Nas with Big and Tupac, and then Puffy had his little bit of a run, there were some people that were waiting to see what they were going to do around that time.
Exactly.
So like it's true what you mean with Jay-Z and Nas, and then DMX comes out around that time there, and then you have Cash Money making a little bit of a splash around that time too.
Yeah, that was like the start of like the golden age of that little 98 to like 2000 little run, you know what I'm saying? So
That's right. So the producers we have on the album, LES, DJ Premier, Trackmasters, Timberland, Alvin West, Dame Grease, Nasheem Myrick, and Carlos 6 July Brody.
Yeah.
So we have we have some familiar names still going. We got DJ Premier, obviously.
Yeah.
LES.
We're
seeing some new names coming up now. We're seeing
Trackmasters too. Trackmasters were on it. Was written a lot too. Yeah.
And he was working with Trackmasters a lot heavy around this time too. You had the Hot Boys, you had the track with Allure, here and there. So he was definitely working with Trackmasters a lot around this time. Debuted the peak chart position in the US R&B hip hop albums. Billboard was number 1. US R&B 200 was number 1. That's a peak position. It was right around the time he releases this a few months after Belly debuts.
Yeah.
This will give you like a kind of a trajectory where his career is around this time, whereas Mind State is when he's making this album. Willie Esco Clothing is about to pop off.
Yeah, I think he's doing some modeling for like John Blaze or some next shit at that time too. Like
That's right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, solid album. I just remember um, this album wasn't. This isn't as far as the beats. I remember that the way the album started was very Nas-esque, and then things
Yeah.
went in a different direction. But it wasn't a bad direction. It was just a different direction. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like the intro was cool, but me being a Nas fan, I just wanted to hear what this New York State of Mind Part 2 was gonna sound like, because I already know the
Right.
first one was like crazy on the first
Insane.
album. So I don't know, it did disappoint for me. Nas, I
Me
think
neither.
to this day is still one of the best storytellers, if not the best storytellers. Him and Slick Rick, when it comes to like giving you a story, boom, I'm in the casino, bam bam, like. So it's, I don't know, it started off good. That first track was like, it gave like Nas fans, like diehard Nas fans, that feeling like, okay, you know what I'm saying? He used the old cover, just switched it up, and then the premiere beat, it just sounded like authentic New York Nas Queenbridge shit at that time. You know what I'm saying? So that first track for me,
No, absolutely.
New York State of Mind Part 2, that was my shit. Like, I don't know, it was good for me, man.
Well, okay. Before we go into the track listing, because we're going to go into it right now, there was a leaked track listing in 1998 of songs that were supposed to be on it, and I think they had to reroute and go in a different direction because you have some songs that were on other people's tapes. Like Dame Grease has a tape called Live on Lennox, the album.
Yeah.
And Nas has a record on there called Wanna Play. And I guess that was supposed to be on the tape. He has Fetus, and that's on the Lost tapes. It was supposed to be on this album.
See, back then for me, I didn't have no computer. I didn't know about lyrics.
We wouldn't have known any of these things. We just got it as it came. You know what I'm saying?
None of that. I didn't know. I was looking in the source, double XL.
That's right.
Like, I didn't know anything was leaked. I thought what came out was what they had set in stone, and boom, it came out. So I didn't even know about leaks or, because them
it
times.
Makes you wonder, like, if things would have been different had this been the first album away from the firm. Like, and he's kind of like going in a different direction. And as anticipated as it was, this album comes out now, and it comes out with the songs like Papa Was a Player. That was on Lost tapes. That was supposed to be on this album. This track lineup right here doesn't look too bad, actually. Drunk by Myself.
Like me personally, I listen to this front to back. Maybe I'll skip a one, like, depending on my mood, I might skip a 1-2 Lover Man tune, like, but I listen to it front to back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's just me though. But
so okay, so let's get into the track listing, or the actual track listing again. Released in August 6, 1999. Hate Me Now. Sorry, Nas's Like was released March 2nd, 1999.
Yeah, that's the first single.
So yeah, April 6th was Hate Me Now, and those are the two singles that were released on the record.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him choosing those two singles as lead singles going forward for the album?
Me personally, I think it was like a perfect selection. Whoever his team was at the time, the first track, they were luring in the original Nas fans with the premiere. The Nas is like the 3 verses, like the way he's talking, like, you know what I'm saying? Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet. Like, he was on his shit. You know what I'm saying? Because people were doubting him. And then boom, and then after that, the Hate Me Now, I had the club rocking. Plus, I don't know if everyone knows about the controversy with Puffy beating up Steve Stout about being crucified and all that shit. So that just made it even more spicy. And when you seen the video, they're on the roof, like, that shit was like, like, even right now, I watch that video and I want to put on all my chains and just be a jiggy nigga, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was a perfect choice of yin and yang, you know what I'm saying? But Hate Me Now was the shit. Nas is like, that's when Nas is just spitting bars, you know what I'm saying? If anyone knows that song, I know I should word for word. That was like the perfect comeback, and then the Hate Me Now was had the club until I wasn't even going to the clubs. I was just playing that shit in my room, pretending I was in the fucking club. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact, man.
That shit, what?
Believe it, in my mind, I had haters.
What do you think about it? What do you think about those two?
I mean, I think you hit it on the head perfectly. He started the first record luring in the original Nas fans, letting you know, okay. Because the thing is, and we can get into it a little bit further down, but this is not the only album that Nas puts out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Nostradamus comes out this year too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nostradamus comes out this year too. So I think there's a lot of content and a lot of things that Nas was trying to bring across that he had to split between two projects.
I personally feel, I think that Nostradamus was kind of just put out there because he's seen the success of I Am. And then at that time, it was like popular to drop two, like DMX did it. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. So and he kind of like was one of the ones that kind of spearhead that thing to do 2 albums in a year type thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When he did that with these 2 albums. But I think like just in terms of like the visual even for Hate Me Now too. Him being on the cross and certain things. I think when you play all those things together, it's like you can kind of see he's trying to go in a different direction. And like he's using this album with these 2 records, even it being 2 records only that he chooses. Yeah. And one sounds so old school Nas and one sounds so futuristic going forward Nas. Yeah. You know, he kind of made it clear with those 2 with this album where he was going.
Yeah, and then even like you know, like me when I was young, I like looked at shit, dissect shit. Even the videos were so like the Nas is like it's like an old school video. He's in the hood, he's in a staircase, but then the Hate Me Now is like a big budget, but they're still in the hood, but it just looks more, you know what I'm saying? High quality. Absolutely. Them on the roof. And I don't know, I just think it was well formulated the way they did it. Even the getting crucified on the cross, people always associate that shit with Jesus. That's how they killed people who did crimes back then. You know what I'm saying? So we could have been hustling back then, and if they caught us, they would have crucified us. So people always get that misconception that, oh, Jesus was crucified, but Jesus got crucified because all the people from the slums, the thieves, and all those type of people got crucified. So that's what Nas was trying to, like, I watched a few interviews where he said that's what he was depicting when he was being crucified. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. And I think Nas, because of the artist that Nas is, he kind of ushered in having that creative license to like kind of be contradictory, but it's not even so much being a contradiction, it's more just making you think. There's other aspects of the way to, you know what I'm saying, not pigeonholing himself in one. Because the thing is, a lot of dudes can't do what Nas does. A lot of guys can't tackle as much, I guess you could say, subject matter on one record at one time that Nas can. But he has that license because he's that good of an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't pigeonhole. Like, and he kind of showed it this year. This year, Nas went in so many different directions. This is kind of like a precursor to how he would be on Hip Hop Is Dead, and those and the nigga era. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because not even to stray off, but look at the Nostradamus album. He had the Nostradamus song, then he did You Owe Me with Genuine. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. Like, that's right.
His balance, he's well balanced. I think at that time, he was like 99 was like a good year for.
Yeah,
for Nas, you know
definitely. I always felt that. I always felt that with Nas. He's so blessed at being such a good artist because the decisions that Nas even makes sometimes wouldn't fare well for the average artist.
Not the artist, yeah.
Real you know what I'm saying? But he's just able to because of the content he puts out when he does it. You know, like
exactly.
And I think around this time is where we start hearing the Nas is a great beat selector, kind of rumors and I guess like like ideology type thing because the beats are very different from what we're accustomed to from the first Nas records, But it's also kind of like where we were going with the time anyway. Okay, so here we go. Track listing. All right. We got the intro. So basically, that's just a sound of. That's just like a. I guess you could. He's just replaying all the songs from back in the
All
day.
those songs. Yeah.
Kind of just kind of like memory lane type of thing. Nice, cool way to start the record out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then yes, we get into track 2. New York State of Mind Part 2. So as far as New York State of Mind Part 2, would you say that you put it on the same level as Part 1, or would you just say you like it, but Part 1 is still in a class of its own type thing?
It's close for me, right? Because the first one, you hear him talking about him as a, you know what I'm saying, going to the building, switching, but then this one is like, you hear he has a little bread now, he's telling the stories about now all he has left is one nigga, next nigga switch, this nigga switch, so it's like a coming of age type of story, but I think this beat Premier did on this one, I like it better than the first one. This is my shit, like, this is one of my favorite songs on the album, so it's close for me. But I think they're both classics. 1 and 2 are both classics for me. Like I said before, this was the perfect way to start the album for me because I was like listening to Nas heavy at that time. So to hear like this authentic Nas Premier and just hear him started with the New York, absolutely. I just like I rewound the thing just hearing him say that. Like I just pressed rewind on the CD, just hear it like before I even heard it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I say that. It's good.
As far as Nas's music, when did you first did you have to go back to Illmatic, or do you remember Illmatic when it hit? What was the first one, like the first Nas music that made an impact to you, like the first time you heard it, like as soon as it came out?
For me, because remember my parents had me when they were young, right? So I'm growing up with my uncles. They're a few years older than me. So I remember when Ain't Hard to Tell came out and he's in the snow with the red Scully with the beak and the red jacket. And
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I remember I lived that. Like that was my shit. Like I was a Nas fan from I was 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this isn't me like kids now have the luxury of going to YouTube and the internet to pull up everything. Like me, I remember watching that shit on fucking Much Music, and my uncle used to tape all the videos. So I remember watching Nas, EPMD, Pete Rock, Spell Smooth. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, sir.
I didn't go back. I just rebought the shit before it came out because I had it on a cassette. In '99, I still had my cassette. I had an Illmatic cassette, and then I had it was written both on cassette, but then I bought them on CD in '99. For these kids who don't know, HMV, Sam the Record Man, these places used to sell hard copies of shit. You feel me? So, because my birthday was coming, I said, yo, let me just buy it. I got some extra cash, so I bought them because Nas was my favorite artist at that time. You know what I'm saying? So,
100%, man.
But I remember that shit.
I remember the HMV run for both these albums.
I remember
that run, 100%. Track 3, Hate Me Now, featuring Puff Daddy, Track Masters production. Ushered in the concept of the hater. I don't think we heard any track where people were referencing their haters prior to that. There is no Mano High hater without Hate Me Now.
Yeah. Hate Me Now. The beat, that is one of the hardest Track Masters beats of all time.
Yes.
My personal opinion.
Absolutely. I think he was nominated for a MTV Video Music Award for this.
Yeah.
For this
I think they won. I think they might have won it. And him and Puffy kind of like.
There was a nomination, definitely. There was a nomination. There's a Grammy nomination for this record too, for this album. So on this album, I know for sure. We'll get into it afterwards. I think I'll pull it up and see if I can find it. Hate Me Now, but just in terms of impact, what kind of impact do you think it's had on the industry and just music and just hip-hop?
I rate me personally. I think Hate Me Now is top 10 New York record club song of all time. Personally,
wow.
If we hear this in the club today, we're about like it's one of those ones. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
So I think Hate Me Now is like a classic. Like I can't even like there might be a few New York songs, like couple, like, but yeah, like you have to think about the impact it has, like how the visuals were shot, and then how you feel when you hear it. You want to stand on the couch, or you want to pop a bottle. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like, and then what they're saying is like they're talking about people hating on them. So it's like you hear it and you just want to shine more. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's one of my favorite songs of all time. Actually,
a definite motivational track, man. I remember it's one of those tracks that we used to play during the warm up ball games.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Hit Me Now is one of those records, man. Classic record, classic record. Small World, track 4. Tell me about Small World. How you feel about that one?
Again, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a filler, but it's more laid back. And, he's just telling you it's a small world, reap what you sow. Like, one of those Nas where he's kicking the knowledge, kind of giving you the story with it. And it's like a laid back, good feel.
Absolutely.
Like, it's a good filler for me. Like, depending on my mood, I might pass it. But if I'm just chilling and want to listen to a front to back, it's good for me.
Hitman, Carlos Brody. So, Hitmen are always going to do their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there was around the time when I think this record Nas worked with Puff a little bit more than he did prior to, I guess you could say. And the first album, the second album the firm album rather, was a lot of Dre.
Dr. Dre, yeah.
So that Steve Stout got heavily into it with the It Was Written record. But I think he's starting to go in the direction of working with, Puff and certain other artists in the city and things like that now. You know what I'm saying? Around this time.
And especially at that time, 98, 99, Puffy was kind of on tilt. Like, he was doing his thing, so everybody was trying to, like, get the Hitman to produce a thing, maybe Puffy on a hook.
That's right.
Just like Nas did it, you know what I'm saying? So,
that's right.
But I think the Hitman did their thing on that beat, like, Hitman had a lot of hits, too, within that little time frame, too, you know what I'm saying? So.
Definitely. Next record we have Favor for Favor, featuring Scarface. Tell us about Favor for Favor.
That one was unexpected for me. I never thought I'd hear Nas and Scarface on
a record together, right?
One of them even mentioned it in one of the bars, like, this is the last connection you think you see, like Houston and New York. So it was good because I'm a Scarface fan, Ghetto Boys, Rap a Lot, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So
right, absolutely.
It was good, some unexpected. The beat selection was good. Like, they both stood out and did the thing. Like, nobody came weak on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was good. Like, I think it was stellar.
And that's the thing. It's not a typical Nas record. By this point, you're starting to see little by little with each track that you're getting into the record, it's getting a little bit more and more left field, but it's not bad because he's kind of like he's doing it. And I remember back then I knew like every word to every record, and I didn't really recognize how different in tone and this record was from the ones that he did prior to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of seamless. It's there now that we're older, we can listen to it retrospectively, but at the time it's not like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I go back now,
it flowed naturally. Like, you couldn't tell it was like different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he didn't put out nothing since '96. You know what I'm saying? That's like, what, a 3 years gap? So it's still like everything he's doing is like, oh, fuck. It's just authentic. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think it was good strategizing again. You know what I'm saying?
Then you got track 6, We Will Survive. I like We Will Survive. I like it. Another smooth record. Not the heaviest record on the album, but, nice smooth tie-in record.
Smooth. And then the voice kind of gave me the little Michael Jackson feel, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
The little somehow, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a nice little breezy nice little vibe,
Yeah, man. Yeah, Nas is good for one of those every now and then too, like those nice little calm records, like.
Yeah, little vibey ones,
Ghetto Prisoners, produced by Dame Grease, track 7.
And again, he's giving us a message. If you're listening to it, he's talking about stuff that's still going on from then to now, to the 70s, 60s, you know what I'm saying? Talking about the ghetto prisoners as people low income housing, people on welfare, just to rise, do what you got to do, get a prisoner's rise. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Nas always hits the nail right on the head, pause. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like hitting certain stuff that people are going through. Like he's
very
not just
true,
gonna,
man.
you know what I'm saying? So
That's
yeah,
Nas's.
I like it.
That's like one of his like infinity stones as a rapper. Is like he's able to tap into like what's going on whenever he gets on record. He's able to tap into what's going on in the community, right? Like he has that license. He's just able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like not a lot of rappers can do it, and it comes off transparent when you have rappers who come out and they're trying to play up on the whole. Because Nas doesn't really do that. It's just you can tell
make
that
a
that's kind of
song
just
right
where
now
he is.
because it's popular now, where Nas is
Right.
just doing it because it's natural. I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
Track 8, another one of my favorites. Rest in peace to the late great Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
Produced by Timbaland and Missy Elliott.
Yep.
You Won't See Me Tonight. Definitely a fire record. Who knew that Nas and Aaliyah?
Again, that's like a collab I never like would see at
Never
that
put
time.
it together,
like
my man.
Nas and Aaliyah, like you didn't really, you know what I'm saying? But it was good. The beat stellar. Like I hear the beat in my head now, just like singing the hook. Like you know what I'm saying? It's just like a ghetto love song. Like at that time
Absolutely.
we're young, so we're hearing them talking about, oh, I'm on the road, you won't see me. We don't really know that life at that time, but as grown men now,
it's a different situation.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it
Yeah.
resonates now because you'll get that with your girl. Like, oh, where are you? What are you doing?
We didn't get it when we were younger. Exactly. The certain things that like I that's why I like going back and listening to the songs that I grew up on and I loved when I was younger, like retrospectively, because like you have no idea what you're memorizing and downloading in your mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then later on, it's like, oh my gosh, that's what the thing was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
real
it's amazing.
shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like You Won't See Me Tonight. And I mean, you kind of have a precursor of what Nas can do. One thing I will say about Nas in terms of rappers in the industry, with a female vocal, Nas is top 10 rappers in the industry for sure, if not top 5.
Yeah.
Just along with what he did with Hot Boys and the Mariah Carey and Joe, and then you got the Allure, you got the Lauryn Hill, you got the Love Is All We Need. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nas is good for that. He's good for doing a record with so it only made sense that he had to get the Aaliyah track in his catalog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a good fit. It was unexpected for me again because I'm used to like, you know what I'm saying? But it fit perfect. Like that's one of my favorites too. Like as far as like the Love of Man tune, like that's one of my favorites on this album. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, I fucked with that one. Perfect.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's true though. It's true. You know, like he gets into those. He has another crazy one of those on this record too. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Track. Where are we now? We're at track 9.
9.
Another record that's very poignant to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
100%. And when I heard it, like the thing is around those times when you're hearing records that are trying to like, you know, you get that age where it's just like you just want to hear bang bang shoot 'em up. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. I got this, dot this at the club. We're in the club. This and the third. So like when this wasn't like one of those subtle records. Like this wasn't a subtle dance track, but at the same time, let's think about what's going on here type thing. Like this is straight up to the point political science record. You know what I'm saying? Like, and at the time I didn't really value that track like I do now in terms of just the content. I Want to Talk To. How you feel about I Want to Talk To?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was listening to this not too long ago, and I was telling my brethren like, you know what I'm saying? Like the man is saying what people are going through right now. Like he wants to talk to the mayor, the president, the FBI, the CIA, the congressman. This is who everybody's trying to reach right now. So it's like it's crazy how like stuff just stays relevant because like it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
And it's crazy that like it, and I heard somebody saying it to me, like they're like, yo, I genuinely don't believe that I'm gonna see any change in my generation. And it's like it's so depressing because I know there's every generation that feels like it's not gonna be like this when I'm old. You know what I'm saying? Like the next generation is not going to be like this, and then they see it's the same thing. Every generation goes by thinking that our generation is going to be the last one, where it's going to be like this. You know, like
honestly, I have faith the way these guys are moving, our age, younger generations, that we're not going to take the shit no more. Burn shit down. More. We can't walk and hold hand. Come on, bro. They need to see some destruction in order to make a change. You know what I'm saying? Hit them in their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Certain things have to be done. I have faith because these kids coming up under us, even little 13, 14-year-olds, they're getting the message. I'm seeing some kids post the most craziest, most intellectual stuff talking about racism, systematic racism. And it's like when I was 14, I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention to that stuff. That's why even when I was listening to the song back then, the beat's a banger. Like who produced that one?
That's LES.
Trackmaster? LES. And the beat is like, so the beat was catching me at the time, but as I got older, I'm making the lyrics sink in. And as a big man now, it's like the beat was fire, and Nas like doesn't really disappoint when it comes to those type of songs. So, you know how I feel about it. That shit was like
no, it's true. Like that's the thing. Like again, for me personally, it's just a personal thing. There's some people, everybody's different, right? So like with me, it's just like when I unless it was like it came slow, like gradual, or like it was subtle, I would always feel like you know, like he's trying to get preachy, or that, you know, you get that cringy feeling when you're a kid. You just want to get back to the party records or whatever it is. But like when you get older now, you understand why our generation were even the way we are. Is because we had artists that even in the most jiggy of times in their career, you know what I'm saying, or like in hip hop, you still have to address certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas made sure it was a point to still address certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it even be between records like the one we're going to talk about next and You Won't See Me Tonight, he's stopping to make sure your consciousness is still there on the right of the record, you know? So
because even with that song, like I took it in, but then later on, like the next year, when who dropped? When Dead Prez dropped, they dropped Let's Get Free. So I was kind of like, my brain was kind of on the political shit because I'm listening to even that album. That's the album I would have did too. Let's Get Free is one of my favorite albums. Like,
no question.
Talked about, you know what I'm saying? So it's like certain things will catch you, and then you'll go back to it like, okay, because when Dead Prez is talking about all this political stuff, about the school system and stuff, I kind of rallied back to that song. So it's kind of like, you know, like the vibe was kind of there at that
right
time, you know? So,
absolutely, man. Next track on the track listing, track 10, Dr. Nakbu, produced by Trackmasters. Another highlight record for me at the time growing up.
It was like a fun song, like it's like hearing an older nigga tell you how to maneuver with the shorties and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, but this record is kind of like workout plan for Kanye.
Yeah, like just a funky, fun type of,
you know, like definitely.
You have to be in the mood to listen to it. Really, that's like a skipper for me. Like when I'm vibing, but.
And you're not used to Nas going this route either. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas doing this, like I'm the nigga I'll tell you how to deal with these females, like, you know. But it's a dope record, man.
Yeah.
Life is what
you make it.
For what
it's worth, I think it turned out pretty good. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. I like that record. I like it. Yeah. Life is What You Make It, track 11, featuring DMX. How did you feel about that one? DMX is new on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like 1998.
He's new on the scene, killing shit, though, you know what I'm saying? He's killing shit at the time. And I like
they're fresh off of
artists I wouldn't expect to hear me.
Belly.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, they're in the movie, so you're not thinking, like, maybe they're not going to do no music. So it's like, a Tommy
Right.
Buns and my youth, like, you know what I'm saying? And a
Right.
sincere, like.
And I guess it
So
only makes
meshed
sense if
well
you play
because
on the
they had
whole.
the chemistry.
Right.
Yeah. But I was fucking with it though.
Yeah, I like that record too. It wasn't bad. I like that record. Next record I think it's another standout record for me on this
Me
album,
too.
and I think that this record kind of like it gave me a certain little level, not little, a certain level of respect for Nas too in terms of his flow and like how diverse he can be, because he hadn't displayed it up until like this record really, like in terms
Yep.
of the diversity of his flow.
Different
And
style, yeah.
Big Things 100% demonstrates that. Talking about Big Things.
I was a big fan of it because fuck, when I heard Biggie do Notorious Thugs, I was like, that was one of my favorite shits. So to hear another New York artist take, yeah, you know what I'm saying? To hear another New York artist take that rhyme pattern and fucking and like kill it. You know what I'm saying? Because after that, I think Jay-Z and Memphis Bleak did What's Is That Your Bitch or something like years after.
Is That Your Bitch? Yeah.
Kind of pattern the same
Jigga
way.
What, Jigga Who?
Yeah.
But that was a little bit afterwards too.
Yeah. So I was excited because I'm a Bone Thugs fan. So to hear Nas and then the sample, yeah, that was this is one of my favorites. Like I used to rewind this one a lot. So
yeah, dope record, man. I think yeah, that record kind of went. These little records. This one, Big Pimpin', Jigga What, Jigga Who, certain little records that gave New York rappers the freedom to start flowing in a whole different type of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this, you have to put this one in there because it was a big deal at the time. Big Things. It can't be understated. Dope record.
Because before this one,
yeah,
Notorious Thug, Biggie was the only one who came with that
only
stuttered Bone Thugs flow, really, in New York. And
that's
that
right.
was what, 97, 98?
Yeah.
Whenever,
and then when does Jigga What, Jigga Who and Big Pimpin' come out? Because I know Jigga What, Jigga Who is Dynasty.
Is that 98?
Or is that your chick rather? Yeah, is that your chick and Jigga What, Jigga Who?
That your chick, I think, is like 2000 sometime. That's
yeah, they're not in the same realm, but like, you know, those are like the little records from between, I guess you could say between 1998 to 2000. Like those records there were like New York rappers were switching up the flow a bit.
Yeah, you know? Exactly.
So you got to give them credit for that too. You know what I'm saying? And then not to mention Big Pun is out in the ball around these times too. You know what I'm saying? And just like the flow,
for sure.
Double time on the flow and everything. So.
Well, actually, I'm looking here. Jigga What, Jigga Who came out March 1st, 1999. So Jay-Z was kind of on the little early with the stuttered flow and the Bone Thugs flow too. So
you could. It's so crazy when you go back now and you look at it, bro. You can see this beef is going to happen.
Brewing, yeah.
Anytime now. You know what I'm saying? Like any day now.
Crazy.
Yeah,
but the beef when did that beef even really pop off? Like 03 or something. So a couple of years it took.
Yeah, that's when I actually officially was a thing, like 02 to 03, I believe. Yeah.
When you put Prodigy on the Summer Jam screen and all that shit. Okay.
And the Ask Nas, you don't want it. We're gonna get into that one day. You got to come back as a guest so we can talk about the Nas versus Jay-Z beef.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to go in depth about that. You know what I'm saying? Like actually analyze that for two dudes who were we're in our prime when that beef was popping out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
sure. They need the perspective of dudes who actually were there and were outside for real when that shit was going down. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
Next record, Pray, featuring the Bravehearts.
I wasn't really a Bravehearts fan. Like it's a good filler. But Bravehearts weren't really, I wasn't feeling young and Wiz.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I guess it was a filler. He looked out for his boys. I don't even know if he had the Ill Will records at that time or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
He's looking out for his bro and his dog, so it's a good look.
I think around that time, people were signing, like, I respect the way they do it nowadays. Like I don't think rappers just go and get their best friend who can't rap and sign them anymore. Now dudes actually are signing people they know are artists, and we've seen the industry come far enough where these new artists know what they're doing when they're signing other people. But back then, I think these guys were just signing dudes that they were best friends on the block with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just trying to get them a situation too. So like, not all it was.
But
Some
even now too though. But even now too though, it's like you don't even have to rap. If they see you do certain numbers or see you could generate money,
right,
they're gonna get you a deal too, right? So it's like,
right, it's true. It's true.
Well, what can you do? You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
But yeah, that track there was like more of a like little filler. Like it was cool. Like I listen to it when I feel too, but not one of my favorites.
One of the if you okay, we're gonna get into that afterwards too, so we'll get there. The next track on the list, number 14. Not Nas is like, I know this entire record word for word from beginning to end. I played it back and forth, making sure I learned every lyric.
Freedom of jail, clips inserted, the babies being born, same time my man
is murdered, the beginning and end. Yeah.
Nas, bro. Nas. Bars. For you little kids,
one of the greatest records
anybody listen to this who does not know bars, go listen to Nas. This is the old school format. 3 verses, 3 16s, just bars.
And one the hook is just cuts. The hook is just cuts. There's no singing. There's no nothing. It's just nothing. And he goes right back into Nas. Like it's just
vintage Premier and vintage Nas. Like I think one of the most perfectly done hip hop songs to me personally.
Oh, no question. Nas is like is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. Period. You know what I'm saying? In all honesty, it's I think I have Nas is like in my top 20 hip hop songs of all time. No question.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
And it's not at the bottom of the list anywhere. At the bottom of the list, it's an amazing record, man. Honestly, one of Primo's best beats.
Like I said, it was a smart first single because it was just so authentic. If you were saying fuck Nas and you didn't want to hear Nas, he takes so long to drop. When you heard that, your ears were up again. You're like, okay, shit, maybe I need to go get this album because the way this one is sounding, it's gonna be a problem. So
definitely.
Yeah. Even the video, the visuals, everything was just on point.
Definitely, man. Yeah, Nas is like, it's probably one of my favorite. It's probably in my top 5 Nas records all time too. Definitely, probably is. I don't know. So it goes back and forth. You know what I'm saying? But the next record on here is because I was a big fan of the R album at the time. I know we're not supposed to talk about him. We're not going to, but I was a big fan of that album.
But it doesn't count because we're talking about him at that time.
At that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And where our mind was at that time and whatever else. So
exactly.
But you got KISSING. Okay, now mind you, going back now, hearing that hook, it's a little corny. But at the time, I didn't mind that record too much at all. It was kind of dope. But going back now, it's like,
plus you got R. Kelly with the la da 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 da. So it was like,
dope.
You know what I'm saying? It was a little wavy at the time. You know what I mean? I was fucking with it, but yeah, I listen to it now. Picture us FUC. It's kind of whack.
Yeah.
But at the time, R. Kelly was booming. So it was like
that's one of those label records, man. You know, the label pushed that one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they're saying get R. Kelly in here, get him on the hook. Maybe we'll make it a single.
Definitely, exactly.
I was fucking with it though. At the time, I was fucking with it. To hear
I was fucking with it. No, I can't lie, I was.
Prior to that, '96, they had the Street Dream remix. That was my shit.
Yeah.
They had a good history of making some good songs. Yeah.
Fire. Next record on the album, Money Is My Bitch. Produced by Trackmasters. Money, my bitch is my money. Money is my bitch. Yeah,
I mean, that's a little, like the hook is kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's good for those. It's another one of those metaphor tracks. That's what Nas does. He has, you know, Nas does this. You know, like I gave you power.
Yeah. Heavy on the metaphors.
Right. Yeah. You know, so he's good for these records. It's not terrible. It's not a classic Nas record, but it's dope. You know, especially at that time. Like it
Yeah.
was little jiggy.
It was good, and it was
Like,
straight to the point too, right? The same boom,
right.
money, like.
That's
So
a
I
fact.
was fucking with it. I was
That's the
fucking with
thing about this album. Like that's the thing what Nas does. Like he'll go one way and you'll think that but he'll also bring you back here. Like it's an equilibrium of content.
And I
You know what
think
I'm
at
saying?
this time, being that he wasn't out for so long, he was testing the waters with a lot of shit
Testing the waters
just to
too.
see
That's a
what
good. That's a
hits.
good point. That's a
You know what
good
I'm
point.
saying? So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Final record on the album, Undying Love, produced by LES. How do you feel about Undying Love to close the record?
I think it's another good storytelling, good like mellow way to like finish it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The beat is a banger for me. Like LES did his thing on this album. You know what I'm
Dope
saying?
record,
So
man. Dope
yeah, and
album, man. Honestly, a dope
like
album.
I
It's a
said, when it
solid
comes to the
album. Solid album.
storytelling, I can listen to Nas like storytelling. Like, you know what I'm saying?
How do you? Okay, so before we go into the songs that you think lived the best and the songs you think didn't live so well on the album, how do you feel about his? This isn't a review of the next album, but seeing as how this album and the next album came out together in the same year, did Nostradamus affect the way you viewed I Am? Like when you went back and listened to I Am, like seeing as how like you can see he's going into I guess like the I don't want to say caricature, but he's playing into ideologies and different type of figures at this point now. You can see he has the pharaoh on the cover now. The next cover he's wearing the hood and he's calling himself Nostradamus. How do you feel about that whole thing now that you've seen those two come out at that time together? Not as a package deal, but like in the same year. You know what I'm saying? Like same time type thing.
Nostradamus I listen to, but I still feel I Am was the better body of work.
Yeah.
Because I feel Nostradamus doesn't really have nothing that has any like staying power. Like
any last
other than like let's say fucking Owe Me with Genuine. You might hear that in the club. But nothing like no bangers. You know what I'm saying? Like
because the thing is about it with me, this is what I kind of felt. I felt that had he taken the best tracks from, like, this is the thing about Nas. Had he taken the best tracks from Nostradamus, taken the best tracks from I Am and put them together, he would add another classic. I think he has a dope record here and then like a decent record with Nas. And I don't even really want to say decent. It's like kind of average or below average based off of what we're used to with him from Nostradamus. I feel like if you take You Owe Me from Nostradamus, you can't really take Nostradamus because that's like, and then like I'm gonna get into that album one day too. But I feel like if you just take the best,
I'm just glimpsing it, and there was like,
it's
album
just
wasn't really good. Like, you know what I'm
he was
saying?
going in a different direction. I think the fame, the movies, clothing label, record label, putting
a
people in a
lot
different
going on.
space
Like,
now.
you know what I'm saying?
He's starting to beef with niggas around him now. Him and Cormega aren't so good no more. Him and AZ aren't so good no more. Him and Havoc aren't so good no more. I think all that's starting to play into the music that he's bringing out too, and he's straying from the artists that he started with in the beginning when you get to that point. But I think like this is like the last album of classic old school Nas before he takes a different turn in a different direction.
Yeah, because even the Nostradamus, I'm looking like LES did 5, Dame Grease did like 4, so it's like I don't know if it was like rushed or just trying to drop just for the sake of dropping. I don't think this one was as well thought out as I Am album. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Okay, so as far as the top 3 records you think lived the best over time, what would you say those are?
Top 3 for me.
Your personal 3 records you think that lived the best over time.
I say Nas's Life, Hate Me Now. Fuck. Maybe those 2. Like New York State of Mind for me, because I just feel like I can still listen to it You know what I'm saying? But just like for the rest of the society, the rest of the world, I say Nas is like Hate Me Now, because Hate Me Now is something you could throw on in the club right now and you're not missing a beat.
Yeah, like he really did pick the best songs for singles.
Hold on.
Really did.
For sure.
And what would you say that the 3 songs you would say didn't live so well?
The Kissing shit, Money's My Bitch shit, and the Dr. Knockwood shit. All like the themey out of his out of left field shit. I feel is like not really like, you know what I'm saying? Didn't really age too well.
Out of 5, what would you give this record out of 5? Rating wise?
I say beat selection, concept selection. I'd give it like a 4.5. Like, it's not that far off of a classic for me, because even the ones that didn't age well are good fillers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Lighten up the content a little bit. Go from Ghetto Prisoners to Dr. Knock. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
absolutely.
Good contrast of different things. So I'd give it like a 4.5.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
It is Nas, man. It's not out of whack for him to put out a 4.5 and a 5. You know what I'm saying? He's classic album.
Yeah. I think
I mean, just in terms of from a nostalgic standpoint, a definite classic for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
So yes, sir. Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. And when we come back, we're just gonna talk quickly about any new music you got going on and where they can hit you up. All right? We'll be right back. It's Uncle Buzz Show. All right, we're back. It is the Uncle Buzz Show. That last record that I was just playing was Pascal, forgive me. Pascal by my friend here, Osama Bin Trappin. My friend, tell us about that record. Tell us about any music you got going on. And just let the people know what's going on with what you got going on.
Yeah, that's my new single, you know, like the different little vibe for the summer. So yeah, that's out. I'm gonna probably be dropping an EP around September. We might drop another single soon. The video should be dropping by like middle of July, end of July. So we're just trying to be consistent, because you know a lot of guys, not even to say nothing, but sometimes it's just you got to step out of the humble shadow and just, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys aren't really making the music, but they're getting the shine, you know. So we're really trying to stay consistent and fucking drop some music. Man. So, you know what I'm saying? If you have Apple Music, Spotify, just type Bin Trappin, BEENTRAPIN, and my stuff should pop up. I got 3 singles on each of those streaming sites. So, you know, just listen. Instagram, it's Osama_Bin Trappin, spelled the same way. You know what I'm saying? Follow me. I don't really do too much on the socials, but, you know, we're promoting the music. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, look out for me, Uncle Buzz, too. We got some stuff dropping. So, you know, we're just working, trying to stay consistent, get to the bag. You know what I'm saying? Get one of these labels to cut us a nice little check.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
My friend, this was a pleasure. Another dope record. I'm glad that we did this one. Brought back a lot of memories. I had to go back and listen to these records again just so we had the reference point for it and all that, and it brought back a lot of memories to that time. You know what I'm saying? My first move to my new dwelling space and things of that nature, and meeting new people. And, you know what I'm saying? So it brought back a lot of memories. Thank you, brother. I appreciate this, man. Please come back again. We got more albums we got to review. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me. Shout out everybody listening, tuning in. Make sure you listen to the show every week. It's great content. You know what I'm saying? You might hear someone talk about one of your favorite albums. So tune in to the Uncle Buzz Show. You know what it is, man.
Peace, brother. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Everybody, once again, if you haven't, please download the Apex Radio app and follow us on all social platforms. I am Uncle Buzz. This is the Uncle Buzz Show. Signing off. Thank you very much. Peace and love.